Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
Welcome to World News Channel. Today news is:
North Korea providing materials to Syria chemical weapons factories. North has been sending equipment to Syria that could be used to make chemical weapons, a UN report says. Some 40 previously unreported shipments were made between 2012 and 2017, the report found. Materials included acid-resistant tiles, valves and pipes. The report, yet to be released, said North Korean missile specialists had been seen at Syrian weapon-making centers. The allegations follow new reports of chlorine gas being used by Syrian forces, which the government denies. A second daily pause in fighting in the Eastern Ghouta region outside Damascus is due to begin, to allow in relief aid. Aid was unable to enter the rebel-held region on Tuesday, the first of the 5-hour pauses in fighting, after clashes continued. Activists blamed government air and artillery strikes, while Russia said rebels had shelled a humanitarian corridor meant to let civilians leave. What are the allegations against North Korea? North Korea is under international sanctions over its nuclear program. According to the confidential report, seen by the BBC, North Korea sent illicit supplies to Syria which included high heat, acid-resistant tiles, corrosion-resistant valves and thermometers. The tiles are said to be used to construct facilities where chemical weapons are produced. The Scientific Studies and Research Center, SSRC, a Syrian government agency, is alleged to have paid North Korea via a number of front companies. The report was compiled by the UN panel of experts, which assesses North Korea's compliance with UN resolutions. UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric did not say whether the leaked report would be published, but told the New York Times, "I think the overarching message is that all member states have a duty and responsibility to abide by the sanctions that are in place." In a September 2017 report, which is publicly available, the group said it was investigating reported prohibited chemical, ballistic missile and conventional arms cooperation between Syria and North Korea. It said that 2 UN member states had intercepted shipments bound for Syria, and that the goods were suspected to be supplied by North Korea's main arms exporter as part of a contract with front companies representing the SSRC. The Syrian government is reported to have told the UN panel that the only North Koreans present in Syria are sports coaches and athletes. What is Syria's position on chemical weapons? Syria signed up to the Chemical Weapons Convention and agreed to have its declared chemical weapons stock destroyed in 2013 after a sarin gas attack killed hundreds of people in Ghouta. It has been accused of repeatedly using banned chemical weapons in the civil war since then. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, concluded that sarin nerve gas was used in Khan Sheikhoun, in Idlib province, last April in an incident that killed more than 80 people. UN investigators said the Syrian Air Force was to blame. That the United States carried out missile strikes on a Syrian airbase in response, but President Bashar al-Assad maintained the incident was faked. Suspected chlorine gas attacks have been recently reported in Syria, including on Sunday in the Eastern Ghouta, a besieged rebel-held enclave near the capital Damascus. The OPCW is investigating those attacks, Reuters news agency reports, citing diplomatic sources. UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson is among Western leaders who have suggested the Syrian government could be attacked if there is fresh incontrovertible evidence that chemical weapons have been used against civilians. Why is North Korea's involvement controversial? Experts say that North Korea has long offered military supplies and weapons know-how around the world in exchange for cash. The UN report is said to highlight its efforts to illicitly trade with dozens of countries and groups in the Middle East, North Africa and Latin America. Syria and North Korea have decades-old military ties. Last week, the United States President Donald Trump said Washington was imposing a fresh set of sanctions on North Korea, targeting more than 50 ships and maritime transport companies in several countries. North Korea is already under a range of international and the United States sanctions over its nuclear program and missile tests. But it continued tests last year, including tests of a nuclear weapon and a long-range ballistic missile capable of reaching the United States. The United States says the new sanctions are designed to put a further squeeze on North Korea, cutting off sources of revenue and fuel for its nuclear program and clamping down on evasion of already existing restrictions.